Disclaimer: this video is for educational and informational purposes only. Trading involves risk and may result in loss of capital. Always practice first on a demo account and trade only with money you can afford to lose. All right, traders, let's break down this strategy step by step. When the price is above the EMA 50, we're in an uptrend, so we'll only look for buy trades. When the MACD line crosses above the signal line and the histogram turns green above the zero line, that's your momentum confirmation. Wait for that candle to close. Then take your buy trade with a 1 to 2 minute expiry. For sell trades, it's the opposite. If the price is below EMA 50, the MACD crosses down, and the histogram turns red below zero, that's your cue to enter a sell trade after candle close. Avoid sideways or flat MACD. That usually means no momentum. You only want to trade when the market actually moves with power. Pro tips: use a zoomed-out chart to confirm trend direction before entering. Wait for at least the second histogram bar for stronger confirmation. And don't overtrade. 2 to 3 quality setups per session are enough. This simple setup can help you catch momentum bursts early, especially during the London and New York sessions, when volatility is strongest. Now that you know the rules, let's dive deeper into the live chart and spot these setups in real time. Let's jump straight into the chart. All right, traders, here's a clean sell setup example. Notice how the price had been rising earlier, but then started rejecting near the top. Now the price is clearly below the EMA 50 line, confirming a downtrend. At the same time, the MACD line crosses below the signal line, and the histogram turns red, moving below the zero level. That's our momentum confirmation. I waited for the candle to close fully and then entered a sell trade for 2 minutes. You can see the momentum continuing strongly downward. Perfect alignment of trend and signal. The trade closed deep in profit, confirming the power of waiting for that clean crossover setup. This is exactly how you want your sell trades to look. Trend confirmed, momentum aligned, and no confusion on entry. Now let's look at this clean buy trade setup. You can see the market was in a clear recovery phase, price gradually pushing upward and finally breaking above the EMA 50 line. At the same time, the MACD line crossed above the signal line and the histogram turned bright pink, showing that momentum had shifted from bearish to bullish. That was my confirmation. I waited for the candle to close fully and then entered a buy trade for 2 minutes at this level. The goal here is simple. Catch the first strong momentum push that confirms the start of an uptrend. As the next few candles formed, you can clearly see strong green momentum building up. The histogram bars expanded, confirming increasing bullish pressure, exactly what we want to see after a clean crossover. Price stayed well above the EMA 50, and every small retracement was quickly rejected by buyers. This is the kind of smooth follow-through you want in a momentum trade. Clean movement, no hesitation, and strong candle bodies pushing in your favor. And here's the result. The trade closed beautifully in profit. Everything aligned perfectly. Trend direction, momentum confirmation, and entry timing. This setup proves how simple price action can deliver powerful precision when used with discipline. Now let's switch to the next chart and see how the same logic plays out in a different market. Now let's look at this perfect sell setup. You can see the market clearly losing strength after a short pullback. Price was already moving below the EMA 50, confirming the downtrend. At the same time, the MACD line crossed below the signal line, and the histogram turned red, signaling that bearish momentum was kicking in. Once that candle closed, I entered a sell trade for 2 minutes at this level. The plan: to capture the next wave of downward momentum while the trend stays strong. As the trade progressed, sellers took full control of the market. The next candles expanded sharply, and the histogram bars stretched deeper below zero, showing strong bearish energy. Each minor pullback was immediately rejected, confirming that the trend still had power. Notice how clean the candles look. No long wicks, no hesitation, just steady movement in one direction. That's a sign of solid momentum and clear trader sentiment. And here's the result. The trade closed comfortably in profit. Another perfect example of how momentum and trend alignment can give clean, confident trades. Now let's move to the next chart and see how this setup performs in a fresh market condition. Now let's look at this buy trade setup. The market was pushing upward, and price had just broken above the EMA 50, confirming a temporary bullish structure. At the same moment, the MACD line crossed above the signal line, and the histogram turned pink, suggesting fresh upward momentum. After the candle closed strong, I entered a buy trade for 2 minutes, expecting continuation toward the recent high. As the trade developed, price initially pushed higher, but quickly met resistance near the previous peak. You can see the candles forming smaller bodies and upper wicks, an early signal that buyers were losing control. The histogram also started shrinking, showing that bullish energy was fading. Instead of a clean breakout, the market began to range, creating indecision right before expiry. Never a good sign for short-term trades. And here's the result. This trade closed in loss. Price failed to continue upward and pulled back just before the expiry. Losses like this are part of every trading system. The key is to understand why it happened. In this case, the setup was right, but the timing and momentum strength weren't ideal. Now let's look at the exact indicator settings I'm using for this strategy. For the moving average, set the period to 50 and choose EMA. You can adjust the line thickness to make it clearly visible on your chart. Next, for the MACD indicator, use fast EMA 12, slow EMA 26, and signal 9. In the color section, keep the MACD line red, the signal line pink, and the histogram bars magenta for easy visibility between bullish and bearish momentum. These are the exact settings I've used in all the examples shown today. So that's the complete setup for the MACD plus histogram momentum strategy. Simple, powerful, and built for short-term trading precision. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with other traders.